Hello, my dear friends. Father Richard here, uh, continuing my tour of the Royal Palace of Caserta, the Regia as they call it. And I'm going to go into the royal chambers, some of the apartments of the king and his courtiers, and eventually to the throne room. I've reoriented the camera to a vertical position because these rooms are extremely tall and not so wide that they can't be seen, but in a way, I want you to appreciate the shape of this room. So this is the entry chamber to the royal apartments. This would be really the first antechamber available to enter to be with or in the presence of the king and the royal family. The first couple of chambers here are dominated by these enormous chandeliers that are dropped from the ceiling far, far, far above, perhaps 30 feet or more, all the way to the ceiling. One there and one here. These are gilt bronze chandeliers with a great many lights on them. And the ceiling, of course, is another vault with cupola windows on the side, which again fill the room with remarkable light. The main light is not coming from the chandeliers. The main light is coming from the windows in this glorious palace, which you can see there on the sides and up above. And then, of course, we have this amazing painting which features in the middle of the ceiling. So this would have been the first room that one would enter from that foyer that we were just in, and we would walk through this way. The doors here that we see on the side then would lead to side chambers in this particular corridor. So we would think of the palace built as a series of very long, wide, very wide corridors, usually with windows on one side that open to the outside, and then on the other side, whatever side you happen to be on, could be the right or the left, depending on where you are in the palace, then rooms open up like this one, which would be now obviously used for a very different purpose. But to give you an example, that many of the side rooms are not exactly gigantic, but they would have been rooms for services and so forth. And then we go this way, and we look at the rest of the rooms here, the uh, marvelous construction of the place, looking back towards the entrance this way. Absolutely stunning. And then we go into the next room, which is similar in size and construction, but each room also has a very distinct difference in the way it is decorated. So you'll see here that, for example, there's a very, very large statue, which we'll look at in just a moment. This would be well beyond life size. And again, these enormous chandeliers that hang down almost to the point of touching a human head. And the point of that chandelier is only about 7 feet off the ground, but it goes up perhaps 35 or 40 feet to the ceiling up there. You can see again the ceiling is a vault with windows above, an enormous painting in the middle, but the decor in the room itself is all kinds of worked plaster carvings, and they go all around the room. They're really quite glorious. These statues are done, most interestingly, of course, to recall the connection with the emperors of Rome and royalty of ancient world. And so you'll find that these individuals here are actually figures from the history of the castle, but they're garbed as Roman emperors and conquerors. And so this kind of representation is very, very common, where you take figures in history and then vault them back and address them as conquerors of the ancient world. which connects them to sort of a royal presence all around. And there we go. Very, very beautiful, very lovely. I wish I knew all of the details of every bit of art here, but I don't. Um, it is all available, of course, because this is such a famous place that one can discover this online. This would be a bust, no doubt, of one of the kings or perhaps a prince or a general. It's really, really lovely. All in marble, of course. The face so natural, so relaxed. It's almost as if it's a photograph, except it's stone. Isn't that lovely? Here we go. And so into the next room we go. I'm going to pause the video and pick it up again on the other side.